Good morning, afternoon, evening, friends and family, loved ones. This is your friend Kelly, and I am going to do another video of doing a paracord lanyard because I think that was the first video I did, and honestly I've gotten a microphone now that picks up my voice a lot better to where you don't have to crank your volume all the way up just to hear me mumble along as I'm explaining this. Now what I'm going to do, I just swapped out scales on my TKell Piranha, so I need to put a new lanyard on it, and I'm debating on whether or not I want to put a bead on it. Well, I have one, so I might as well put one on it. What the heck, right? But I was going to switch out the screws and put black screws in and just do a red and black. I forgot that I had this red, black, and I guess it's technically white, but it looks close enough to the silver where I think that matches pretty well with that knife. So what I'm going to do is use this and leave these in it so I can have the black screws for other items that I need. And of course, my WharnEDC that I had picked up for me from Blade Show, I've already done a lanyard with a bead on it. Yes, it's an evil little face. I like it. Okay, now to begin with, I'm going to probably cut, I always cut extra because it's one of those things. When I do the 3 feet, we'll do about 5 feet. When I do the diamond knot, you need extra cord to do it easily. You can do it with a shorter cord, but it's a pain in the butt. And I just like to be able to not cause myself too much more difficulty than I do normally. I like to be aggravating on my own, or my husband does anyway, just to aggravate me. He knows the buttons to push. Let's put it that way. Now, I don't know if you guys have seen what I use, but I have, let me move it up here so that way, I have this. It has little rubber grips on it, but if you need to, you can maybe latch it down. It suction cups on because it's a glass desk, as you can see. But what I do is I put the knife in here and just do it where it's snug. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to crank it down to do that. And I might have to, it's a small hole going through that, so sometimes I have to trim and reform it a little bit to make it easier to first start going through. And anybody that does these probably knows this as well as I do, that happens. Come on, go through. And twisting it and pushing will a lot of times help. If not, if you have something to help push it through, or not help it push it through, as the case may be, it's starting. But twisting it a lot of times will help it feed through also. And there we go. And once you get it through, no issue. And what I do is I pull it back. I know you can't see me, what I'm doing, but that happens. And then I pretty much make them even. It doesn't have to be perfect. Like I said, I have extra cord on there, so it's not that big of a deal. Let me see here. Does that help make it a little bit more noticeable? No, let's get something better. A white Devo cloth that I use to wipe stuff down with. That works. Ignore the dirtiness on it because it gets used frequently to wipe stuff. Okay. But depending on how much room you want for it to maneuver, I like to pretty much do the first knot semi-snug but not super tight. But you go the left cord over the right, kind of make a loop, then you take the right cord under and back through itself, and it's just a little simple knot. And I'll do this multiple times, but I try to judge about how tight I want to get it. Up to that, I want it to be able to maneuver without too much difficulty. That way, if it needs to shift, it's got room. I don't like it real far because I like to be able to, when I put my finger on it, that those knots right there hold what I need them to hold. Again, left cord over right and under, just like that. Here, let me move this up. Right cord over and under, and then take the right cord under both of those and up back through its own loop. And just pull it tight. Make sure it feeds up to where it's up against the other knot, and do a nice snug, get it as tight as you can, because snake knots will work loose over time, so the tighter you get them, the better you are. And again, over and under and over and through, and just pull it. And I think this one, let's see here, what many did I do on this one? 4, that sounds about right. And one more, over and under and over, and it keeps catching the towel, sorry guys. And do it nice and tight. Now what you want to do is get your bead, and if you buy your own beads, make sure you get ones with big enough holes. For this 550 paracord, when you're doubling it up getting through, it can sometimes be a pain, and what I'll do is I'll trim the two at an angle, then light them up and melt them together and kind of squish them together so they're kind of pointy, so I can get them through. And I'm hoping I don't have to do this time. We shall see. Sometimes I'll pull one through and then try to work the one that I've already trimmed to go through the other hole that's a little bit smaller. Let's see, come on. Sometimes pulling it down at an angle and tight against the other side will help also, and it's not going to work this time. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do it at an angle, and that one, since I've already melted it, it doesn't do real good, so I usually start with a fresh. Also, they're both just at an angle. Yes, I have like 20 different, and this usually is hot, so be careful when doing it. If you want to have yourself a pair of pliers or something by you, and you can use them instead of using your fingers. As you can tell, I use my fingers. But then twist and push through, and there we go. And it works. And let's unravel it to where it's not rolling every which way. There we go. Kind of blends in. Maybe I should have done something that's a little bit brighter. Now sometimes, oops, you can see I didn't cinch it well together. But let's get this extra cord off of here. My OCD's kicking in, drives me nuts when that happens. And sometimes, if you want to, if you run this through, if you have a bunch left over at the end that's sticking out of the inner strands, you can do that, and it'll there. And I think this one is okay, and that's still going to drive me nuts. Okay. And there's that portion done. Now, I put this, split it between my fingers, and let's move this even further up. That might help. Between my fingers, like I do with my monkey's fist, this is a diamond knot. I like ending these with diamond knots, just because of the fact that, like I said, snake knots have a tendency to work loose. So I do wrap it around my thumb, back over, where it crosses over top. Take this, pinch it, twist it, and flip it over. So this other cord that's between my middle fingers, pull up to cause a loop. Pull this one under and through the loop, just like that. And I've done a video on this also, of doing this knot, the diamond knot. And you just pretty much, you want the figure 8. And of course you see you still have those cords on either side. The one on your left, pull it under the one on the right, up through. Make sure you're passing that first cord on the other side of your finger, and pull it up. Don't go tight just yet, and do basically the same thing with this one, except making sure you pass the other cord. Go around. You don't have to go behind your hand. I usually do, just to keep it all more or less where I want to go, and just make sure they all stay under as you go. And this is when you're pulling it up, snugging it up to help keep the knot, keep its form. Just keep kind of squishing it together, and you can kind of see what I'm doing. I mean, it's not anything special, just squishing it together to make sure the knots are it's staying in the form it should be. It's just not tightened down, but that's the form that you want. Excuse me. Now, normally I'll take this out, but it doesn't matter. You want to take the cord and you want to start tightening it. Now, I'll sit there and I'll go, because normally I like it relatively snug. And you just need to feed it, follow it around as you're tightening. And I'm not used to doing it like this. I'm used to holding it in my other hand as I'm doing it. So I'm figuring out where it feeds through and needs to go. It's confusing me. And there's the first pass. And you want to do it the same way for the other strand. Feed it through to pull it up to tighten. And this will take multiple passes to probably get it to where you want it. It can be aggravating. It's pretty much like everything regarding these paracord. It can be very aggravating. But if you notice, I'm holding the paracord at the same time that I'm tightening it, because just to keep the shape of the knot is all I'm doing. Because sometimes when you pull on it, it will undo. And see, it's almost there. Actually, I think where I have it set at is good. So now all I need to do is tighten each one of them down. And that's it. Go back, make another pass, make it as tight as you want or as close as you want. And then how much you want your danglies. I usually do roughly an inch. But see how the red one's just slightly bigger? It's just because I haven't tightened it back down. But, you know, and that's the way I like to do my paracord lanyards. The knot, this won't come undone. These will work loose. I mean, sometimes these will even work loose up here and they may get closer. I just, occasionally, if I were you, just pull them tight from the top and the bottom and just kind of do that every now and then when you think about it. And it'll help keep them more or less in the same location. And that's pretty much it. So once I finish tightening that up, that will be my piranha with my lanyard. And you figure that's the way I like it. I like where you can still see the bead and have that knot right there, and it'll have the little cut off be about that much longer, and gives my pinky something to grip, which is great for the EDC knives. But I appreciate you. Hopefully you liked the video, and hopefully you can hear it a little bit better than the original one I did. And got any questions, feel free to contact me. Much love.